Get ready for the dictation. 5 seconds to go. Start. Madam Speaker, as I rise to speak on Muslim women protection of rights on Marriage Bill 2017, I request you to kindly grant me more time to speak because I did not speak at the time of moving the amendments. Madam, the main apprehension regarding this bill, which I would like to place on record, is the over enthusiasm and the interest shown by the government led by the BJP, supported by the Sangh Parivar, in protecting the Muslim women's right. There is a cloud of suspicion among the people, especially among the Indian Muslim community, that the government of India is moving in the direction of having a common civil code. This is the cloud of suspicion existing in our country. So, my first submission to the Honorable Minister is to please remove the cloud of suspicion regarding the Uniform Civil Code. Madam, I would like to remind this August House that it was the Indian National Congress, the first party in India which has supported the Supreme Court judgment. So, there is no political opposition as far as triple talaq at one time is concerned. The question is regarding this bill. This bill is being introduced on the basis of the judgment of 22nd August 2017. According to me, it is an ill drafted legislation done in haste and with an ulterior political motive. That is the first contention which I would like to make. Madam, triple talaq has already been declared by the Supreme Court as null and void. A divorced wife against whom the pronouncement of triple talaq is made is then entitled for maintenance or subsistence allowances and is entitled for the custody of her minor children. A punishment is also enunciated. This is the intention of the bill. We all agree with the issues of constitutional morality, dignity of women, gender justice, gender equality, and preventing discrimination against women and empowerment of women. But the point is that the bill is criminalizing a civil wrong. The Supreme Court has already struck down the triple talaq by declaring it null and void, and according to Article 141 of the Constitution, it has become the law of the land. So, what is the need of further legislation? Madam Speaker, now I would like to draw the attention of the House towards some serious flaws in the bill. As we all know, one of the fundamental maxims of criminal jurisprudence is that no person shall be punished for an act that does not prove to be significantly harmful to anyone. Madam, triple talaq has been declared as void on 22nd August. Subsequently to that, it does not in any manner harm or violate the right of the wife unless the husband refuses to perform his conjugal duties or forces the wife to leave his house on the basis of the pronouncement of triple talaq. So, the basic fundamental of the criminal jurisprudence is being violated in this case. When the talaq has become null and void, where is the need of having any consequential act? Even if the government is so concerned about the liberty, freedom, and rights of the underprivileged Muslim women in the country, in the Indian Penal Code, section 498A is there. We also have protection of women from Domestic Violence Act of 2005, which can very well be invoked. If they want to make it more stringent, they can definitely make amendments in the Domestic Violence Act, or for that matter, amendments in the Indian Penal Code can be made. But here in this case, it is an unnecessary attempt to convert a civil wrong into a criminal act with ulterior political motives which may prove counterproductive. Further, madam, it is against the criminal jurisprudence on several grounds. In the very first instance, the harsh punishment of 3 years imprisonment defies the doctrine of proportionality. Secondly, with 3 years of imprisonment to husband, you are further penalizing a poor woman. She is further aggrieved because her husband is in jail. Thirdly, it may aggravate the already accrued insecurity and lead to alienation of Indian women community from the mainstream. Madam, the last point which I would like to make is that the provisions of the bill are totally contradictory. Since the talaq is already declared void, the marriage is subsisting. When the marriage is subsisting, why is the husband forced to give the subsistence allowance, and how can a jailed person give subsistence allowance to his wife? My final point is regarding the retrospective effect. You are operating it with retrospective effect. According to clause 5 and 6 of this bill, if this is made a law, then all the divorces of triple talaq made prior to the commencement of the act will be applicable. Therefore, madam, there is a lot of suspicion, and I request that this bill may be sent for eliciting public opinion, because none of the Muslim organizations, including the Muslim Personal Law Board, have supported this bill, and therefore they have to be consulted. Stop.